Mrwan, are you there? I think he's. But but I know for sure over here in the States, what we can do practical solutions is teach. I teach. Um, if we have elders who need something, help them. Okay, we got children who don't know how to read. Yes, they go to school, but they don't know how to read. What can we do about that? Yes, we understand 10, 15 years from now, we have this plan. But what are some practical things we can do day to day that will help someone? Regardless of what creed we have, regardless of what background we have, right now, we're at the point we have to help each other. We have to uplift each other. So I would say if we're waiting on thousands of people to come, it may take one or two people in that area, in that community to share what they know, teach a kid how to read, or help the elderly move something or pick up this, because it's that's simple. Because once you build that kind of culture, when you build that kind of culture in your community, in your neighborhood, it'll be very difficult for anyone from the outside to come in and say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. This is our program." No, this is not our program. That's your program.
Yeah, of course, my brother. You mentioned a lot of good things. Just I wanna add some things like over what you mentioned. Like as you said, the problem also the one big main problem that we are facing now on Africa, like the generations that all the people is growing up now, they like even don't know like who they are. As I said, this is the big problem that we are facing now. Also, the educational subjects that they teaching on those schools, like so this is a huge problem. But also about the language. About the language, yeah, everybody can like start to learn Swahili or Hausa or something like that. That's like the major language on Africa. So this is so important. But like the solutions that we can like implement now, like I'm talking from tomorrow to like going on. This is solutions that only we have in media. We start to spread awareness that the people can came to know about the problems that surround them, around them, and all those stuff. So this is something huge that if we did it, like we can change.
So right, communication is key. I know Brother Mrwan, he's gonna type something in the chat. Tell me, y'all can tell me where you guys are from. Y'all can tell me in the chat where you guys are from. We have brothers in Nigeria. We have brother in Malta. I'm in Texas, and we all have concerns. We have concerns. We're not saying that we're part of this political group or this kind of group. We just concerned people, concerned about our country, or concerned about our people. And so my question, and I think Majid, if you want to chime in, or Nada. Hey, Nada. Nabil, if you guys want to share, what is unity? What is African unity to you? What do you guys think? What is that? Hold on, Nabil. And tell me where you're from, too.
Okay, this is Nabil Baron. I'm from Saudi Arabia, but recently I'm in Nairobi, Kenya. I am Black Saudi. Actually, I'm Saudi and Canadian as well. Recently, I'm staying in Nairobi. I'm a resident and investor in Kenya. Well, thank you so much for having me in this lovely meeting. And I really would like to be helpful and useful as well. African unity to me, it's like, we have to focus on teaching our Black people about the African culture and African civilizations, and also feeding them with the African wisdom. And I always encourage our African diaspora to visit the motherland to see how beautiful it is, and to change the stereotype that we have been. Like, for example, I was born in Saudi Arabia, and being from Saudi, unfortunately, the image that I had about Africa was like the stereotype, which is like poverty, civil war, and there is no security at all.
And yet you are African as well. That's amazing. You're African born in Saudi Arabia, but your outlook on Africa was stereotypical. That's interesting.
Exactly. Thank you. So yeah, I remember my first visit to Africa was to Ethiopia in 2008, and then after that I came to Kenya. And seriously, the moment I landed in Kenya, I just fell in love with the country here. And of course, I also love Ethiopia as well. And then after that, I started thinking, okay, why don't I go across there, visit as many countries as possible in Africa? So I went to West Africa, I've been to Nigeria, I've been to Ghana, I've been to Senegal, and actually I've been to like 13 African countries. But seriously, wherever I go in Africa, I just find like, wow, this is a very amazing place. And at that time, I was living in Vancouver, Canada. So I just decided to move to Kenya. I chose Kenya because seriously, I found myself in Kenya. Wow. And yeah. And I remember even when I did my PhD in the US, I was in Connecticut. I did my DNA test, and I found, I traced my bloodline. And I found that, I am like 55% Nigerian. Actually, I'm Hausa. I'm Nigerian original. I found like 55% Nigeria, 30% Bantu, something like that. So it's all like a mix. I'm a mixed African, right. And I'm very proud of it. Yeah.
That's cool. So Nabil is saying unity is learning culture, is going and experiencing African culture. That's the only way that you're going to do it, is to hear the sound, smell, and to put yourself there. I haven't came to Africa yet. I definitely will, but I talk a great deal on Africa to my students and teach them the best way I can. So we have, for the Sabli, he said African unity is through language, through the media. For the Nabil, from Saudi Arabia, by way of Kenya, by way of Canada, is saying culture. Brother Majid, you want to weigh in on this? Would you like to share and tell us where you're from and what is African unity to you?
Yes, hello everyone. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to hear you guys talking about Africa and about unity in Africa. Actually, originally from West Africa in Nigeria. I was born in Saudi. And actually now I live in Bahrain. For me, unite for Africa is very important. Actually, I've been in India. I was there. I studied there. So I have maybe around 4 years or something like that. I found a lot of African there also in India who have like around 30 and more than years there. So I found myself any part in this world you will find African people, and the main problem, or you can say the big problem, how we can unite all those people, because we are all belong to this part in Africa. So for me, it's very important to make African one united and one nation for all around the world. The big problem for me, I never been in Africa, but inshallah I will be there as soon as possible, because I know so many things about Africa. I know so many history about Africa, like starting from west and north and south. So it's very important to me to be in there. It's very important to me like to go there and to start building our nation, our people, to start to put something there in our like our in our country or our nation or people there, because most of them they need us who those people who like raising out in Africa. So African people, the original people in Africa, they need us to like unite with them, to try to help them, to try to make them know better to other country in the world, to try to put something there, to try to help them, to try to do, to put yourself there and to help them.
Right.
So this is like simple things which is I can add, and I'm very very happy to hear about you guys, Mr. Nabil, and you. It's very interesting for African American to like thinking about Africa or thinking about like original people in the Africa, to try to help them, to try to do something for them. It's very nice. It's very nice, Mr. Uh, for what you did, and I hope inshallah we can continue for this meeting to try to make a lot of people who can like share with us our idea, or we can put more interesting topic or more things which is we can help each other to like grown up to add something for our nation. It's very nice. I'm very very happy for that, and thank you very much, guys.
But gentlemen and possibly ladies, because I have Zoom users and TJ, believe it or not, in America, and this is the major misconception, there are African Americans in America whose heart and mind is on Africa. However, that's not what the media is putting out. See? And so some of the solutions that I have put together as a teacher, I'm a history teacher, and what I do is to discuss Africa to our young people, to our children. See what I'm saying? So they can have a positive outlook on it. And so they won't look and say, hey, they're not modern. No, they're probably more modern. They're more modern than we are in certain aspects. So we have to come together and realize that in the United States, racism is played out one way. In the diaspora, whether it be Saudi Arabia, whether it be in India, or even Malta, wherever Africans are, they experience racism in some form or fashion. And the thing is, what we have to do now is to unify the language, culture, because the thing is, in dealing with culture, we get hung up on House of Fulani, Mandinga, or Yoruba, whatever. We're all African. We're all together, you see? And so that's how we've been divided. Yes, we have those heritages and things like that, and backgrounds and bloodlines and things like that. But at the end of the day, we have to come together. And Bro.Sabli and Mrwan and Nabil mentioned culture, language, and media. What united front we can put for the world, or even, no, don't worry about the world. How about this? Community. What can we do to help those 10 to 15 people around us next few months? You know, whatever you can do. I don't know. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's finances are different. So I'm a teacher, so I'm like, yeah, I don't get paid a lot of money. But whatever you can do that. Whatever it is. It can be social media. It can be sharing information. It could be teaching the language or traveling. See? And because sometimes we try to look at things that 10, 20 years from now, and no, what can we do next few months? And you guys have brought some pretty good solutions in our, because everybody's community is different. We know that. Everybody's struggle is different. Poverty levels are different. But one thing that can be the same is what you guys mentioned. Language, media, learning culture, traveling.